The greater Yellowstone ecosystem is a majestic place. Home to national parks, charming western towns, and abundant wildlife, the region attracts many visitors and new residents alike. But a battle is playing out in the region: how to manage a growing human population with a growing bear population. Can coexistence between the two ever be reached? Can bear management be guided by science over emotion? In this episode of Conservation Nation, I'll explore how stakeholders, namely hunters and wildlife biologists, are leading the way in bear conservation efforts. We find ourselves in the Montana and Wyoming portions that comprise the GYE. Bear conservation has largely been successful in the region, but tampering by preservationists and their political allies has sadly obstructed efforts. In Montana, we spoke to Edwin Johnson, a hunting guide from Gardner, and Senator Steve Daines to learn about the challenges firsthand.
People should learn that the best folks to manage the bears in the state of Montana are the people who live in Montana. It's very important that we get a hunting season on grizzly bears because they need to learn that that human scent is not something to be laughed at.
Either we have got to start managing the bears or the bears are going to manage us. We've got bureaucrats and ideologues back in Washington, D.C. that might not be able to find Montana on a map who are dictating our way of life out here. Yeah, and we're not trying to be, not in any way want to be obnoxious about this.
Sure.
Montanans are proud of the fact we have grizzly bears. It's part of the Wild West, but it's got to be managed. Otherwise, we're going to continue to see more human-bear conflicts, as we've seen already 2 fatalities this year in Montana, and more livestock losses as well.
Next door in Wyoming, we also met with Joe Candelas of the Western Bear Foundation and several wildlife biologists from the Wyoming Fish and Game Department to see how science, not emotion, dictates bear management efforts.
Our section, the large carnivore section, focuses on grizzly bears, black bears, mountain lions, and wolves. And I've been more keyed in on black bears. So we're kind of combining research and management with our hair snare work. The main goal is to really get high quality density estimates and then use that to better manage the populations.
In the summertime, I've been working with the Wyoming Game and Fish Department to help study black bears in the state. Humans are on the landscape, and we're now sharing the landscape with a lot of different predators, and the more we know about them, the more we'll be able to help maintain healthy populations, which is going fine right now. So
this is a black bear hair collection site.
awesome.
What we basically do is put out a barbed wire corral system, and then we hang attractants up in the tree.
Oh, wow.
It's like rotten blood. So all we're trying to do is attract them into this to have them move across the barbed wire and leave hair. And then what we do is we come in once a week and we go through every strand of barbed wire and we pull hair off it as we need to, put it in our collection samples, and then turn it in for DNA studies. So,
despite going to great efforts to ensure healthy bear populations, conservationists like Joe Candelas sometimes encounter angry opposition from animal rights activists.
I've had death threats. People want me to get mauled, my face chewed out, my family killed, and I'm like, because I hunt. But it's a way of life for people out here. Like, they don't understand, like, they think we just picked it up one day. Like, generations of our families have been hunting and in the outdoors, and it's just part of what we do. Why do you have to care what we're doing out west? Like, if we're hunting, yeah, let us do our thing. We're not bothering anyone. There's still more wildlife than there ever was in this country for you to come look at when you come to Yellowstone or come out west. We have to manage all populations. There's no natural management anymore because we're on the landscape. Humans are here, and so we have to naturally manage them. And if we don't manage populations of black bears and bears, they get into low fringe areas, they're causing problems because their population's booming in the west, and they're spreading out and they're getting into fringe habitat, and then we're ending up removing them through management actions by the department. And so what a waste that a department has to remove a bear when a sportsman would pay a tag to harvest an animal. So,
after learning firsthand about bear conservation from the experts, it was time to see bears in the wild for ourselves. We ventured to Montana's Paradise Valley, home to one of the highest densities of grizzly bears, to see if we could spot some. Did I succeed in this quest? And lo and behold, there they are! 6 of them if you can spot them clearly. Bears are very resilient and truly one of nature's most magnificent creatures.
Those who are closest to the bear should determine what's best for reducing human-bear conflicts and coexisting with these apex predators. Will these stakeholders succeed in countering misinformation about science-based bear management? We shall see. Thanks for watching this edition of Conservation Nation. Stay tuned for the next episode.